Hey guys, Valgus92 here with another build guide for Saryn, or Saryn Prime. Really quick, if you like this video, be sure to follow me. Check me out on Twitch. I stream Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Let's get straight into it. I actually just got, this is kind of a disclaimer, I just got Saryn Prime. I'm not as good as other people are at playing her, but I have a couple of good builds for her I like to show off. The most important build I use is for ESO Elite Sanctuary Onslaught. It's really the only time I use Saryn for the most part right now. Let's get to the mods I use. The mods I use are Corrosive Projection, which reduces enemy armor by 30%, Power Drift, which is a 15% ability strength, plus 30% chance to resist knockdown, Blind Rage, which is 99% ability strength, minus 55% efficiency, Transient Fortitude, which is plus 55 ability strength, minus 27.5% ability duration, Prime Continuity, which increases ability duration by 55%, Intensify increases ability strength by 30%, Stretch, which increases ability range by 45%, Overextend, which increases ability range by 90% and reduces ability strength by 60%, Augur Reach, which increases ability range by 30%, and Vitality, which increases health. My arcanes are Grace and Guardian, which have a chance on damage to, Grace has a chance on damage to regenerate health, Guardian has a chance on damage to increase my armor by 600. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, biggest focal points for Saryn are increasing her range and strength. Actually, that's not true. I would say it's her range and duration for the most part. Strength isn't as important. So let's look at her abilities really fast, and we'll explain why. So Saryn's playstyle is she applies spores to enemies, which doesn't really cost a lot of energy. It only costs like 39 energy. Inflict the target with pox of corrosive spores. Spread spores in nearby enemies by destroying them or killing the host. The longer the spore spreads, the damage will increase. That is the bread and butter of Saryn. You want to be applying spores to enemies and then spraying them is kind of her playstyle. Molt, shedding her skin like a snake. Saryn leaves a decoy behind to draw fire from enemies. This is kind of a survivability ability, and it has an augment that increases your health generally when you do this, so it's kind of used to help her be a little tankier. Toxic Lash. While active, attacks deal additional toxin damage. This effect is doubled for melee strikes. Instantly burst spores when attacking afflicted enemies. And Miasma is her last ability. Releases a poisonous miasma that deals viral damage to enemies in range. Foes afflicted by spores are more susceptible to the mist. The only reason you would ever focus on duration for her is literally for duration on her miasma. That's really the only reason I built duration, honestly, on her. Otherwise, I could care less about duration. Spores don't fall off unless the target dies. And Toxic Lash is, can be recast. Only costs 78 energy. It can be recast to your heart's content. So the reason I built her with this much range, strength, and duration for ESO and such low efficiency is because you usually run with an energy vampire trinity, so you have energy fed to you consistently, and you want to have as much range as possible to spread your spores. The strength kind of just helps the burst damage on miasma, and it does help the ticking damage on spores, so it's kind of nice to have. And duration just helps, like I said, the debuff for miasma. So the playstyle is you apply spores to enemies, walk around, and I usually melee them. Walk around meleeing them to spread spores, and that's pretty much how you play Saryn. The other build I use for her is a solo build. I swap out Stretch and Augur Reach and Intensify for Streamline, which is ability and efficiency. Regenerative Molt, which is an augment to her Molt that regenerates her health regenerates 50 health per second for 10 seconds after you use Molt, and Hunter's Adrenaline, which gives me energy based on how much damage to health on me. That reduces my range and strength, but when I'm playing solo, I don't really care for that much range, simply due to the fact that I'm usually running into small packs of enemies and on levels at a time, not really like ESO style where everything's kind of spawning across the map. And then my farming build just swaps out. It's basically the same as my solo build, except I swap out Regenerative Molt for Stretch because I don't really care for Regenerative Molt's survivability. If I'm farming stuff, it's usually lower level content, and I have Loot Detector and Thieves Width for just finding stuff. An important note to make before I end this video is that if you are, I just lost my train of thought. Oh, sorry. If you're doing ESO as Saryn, and there are, because your pox does corrosive damage, which corrosive damage is bonus damage to armor, if all four of you are using corrosive projection, you reduce the enemy armor below 100%. They all have red bars, which means, especially the Grenier, which means they have no armor, which means your spores don't do bonus damage. If the three other members of your party for ESO are running corrosive projection, I would swap to Energy Siphon or another similar mod, or basically any other mod in the Aura slot, just so you keep that armor, a little bit of armor on the enemies. Otherwise, that's it for my build video. If you like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe. And like I said, follow me on Twitch, and you can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram for updates. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching. Have a good night.